guys. It's Dana and Up and Adam. How are you?
Hi, guys.
Oh, I'm going to turn that off. Oh, you know who that is? Okay. Uh-oh. I think I'm going to, of course, okay, before we start on the Shah Shocker, I know you know that there were those text messages leaked, right, about Randall Emmett. And
how did you feel about that?
Well, you know that he told me that he didn't cheat. Anyway, I'm going to have a chat with him later today.
Are you going to tell him I feel bamboozled, lied to?
No, I'm not going there yet. I want to hear his side of the story. Those text messages I watched in the video, but they're not like, I mean, some things that were said, like I could see that it had some validity, but some of it, I don't know, like, could it be just people who knew him or?
I don't know. What I do know from those alleged text messages is someone likes to be called daddy.
I mean, I just don't see Randall wanting to be called daddy. Like, honestly, he's just not, like, I mean, we talk, like, he's not, he just isn't that guy. I don't know.
I could never imagine being like to Jason, you don't call me Adam anymore. You call me daddy. No.
I just don't see him like going on text and like going, you know, do you want drugs? Do you want to like show me naked pictures of yourself? Like, it's just, I mean, even on a burner account, like he's just too, you know, I mean, he's not dumb. You know what I mean?
But could he be used to, because listen, right, I understand. I think it's a BS excuse, but I do understand, like, you're in the public eye before, right? Because of your job, your business, but not in the same way of being in the public eye on a Bravo show where now everyone wants to dive in and find out whatever skeletons you have. Now it's like you become a target, and that might have worked for him before. There's a lot of people, weren't there? Do you remember when that one site came out? It was like the site where men would go on and have mistresses, and then all of a sudden somebody leaked it. It was like the Ashley site.
Yes, I kind of remember that. Yeah.
But
so you believe it's real?
I don't know.
Real?
I don't put anything past anyone. I wouldn't want to just slam him and be like, "Oh, this must be real. You're a liar." But I do want to know more. Like, if someone is putting this out there, if it's not true, couldn't he easily just serve them with a cease and desist and be like, "Back off, or I'm going to sue the out of you"?
I mean, why would he bother?
Well, because you're like,
I wouldn't bother. I mean, you know, I'd be like, unless the person was rich, then I'd bother.
And then my last question for you on this is, why would the burner account be called at Palm Beach Forbes? Is he?
I don't know. I don't get it. He's not even from Palm Beach. He's Miami. So I don't really understand. I need to ask him again. I'm going to ask him. I mean, you know, we gossip, obviously, Adam, when we have no other choice. But if you have a choice to ask someone, you ask them. So I'm going to ask him, and I'm going to be like, please give me, please tell me.
We need to get you some champagne and have you accidentally click the live button and put it on speaker and be like, okay, so it's just you and I.
I don't betray people's trust. I told him I have to talk about it. I said, you know, my job is gossip. You know, I do carve a line. If someone says to me, don't say this, I won't, right? If someone says something like in confidence, this is off the record, I'll do that. But, you know, I told him, like, at a certain degree, you got to talk to me. And if you did something wrong, say it. And I can at least get your side of the story out. Like, your relationship sucked. You had a bad judgment, whatever it is. And people will get pissed and forgive you, or they won't. No, you know, but what does it matter, right? At the end of the day, you're you, live your life.
Right.
But if you didn't do it, then at least get that out there so people know why there might be an agenda. Because sometimes bloggers have side agendas.
Right. Well, sometimes people will do anything for a view, right? They'll write it out, and now you have this like title that's so eye-catching that says Randall Emmett cheating, but it's like, no, you don't know if he cheated. It's allegedly, but that's not how you put it out there, because now everyone's going to click on it and think that you have something that you don't actually have.
Yeah. And I just want to know, like, you know, and he might take the position that he doesn't want to comment at all to protect, like, he's like, I'll just be the dick, you know, and Lala and the baby, you know, can look like, you know, great and it's fine. I just don't want to say anything. Like, he may take that view, but I would like to have him not take that view.
Yeah, I mean, I would protect myself if I knew I had nothing to hide.
Yeah, it's what I would do too. It's how I feel about it.
Well, speaking of nothing to hide, by the way, I have to say really quick, when I
Yeah.
was watching the Jen Shah documentary yesterday, I know that you asked me, what did I think?
Yes, I did. I was like, okay, Adam, give it to me straight.
No, this isn't even me fluffing you. I thought that you did so amazing. You were my favorite part of this documentary. And I have to tell you why. Again, I'm not fluffing you. I feel I don't have to do that.
You
We're
don't
already
have
friends.
to do that. You're my friend.
Yeah, we're already friends. But, you know, I get a lot of questions from people who are like, why was Dana Wilkey on, you know, the Girardi Housewife and the Hustler? Why is she on the Jen Shah stuff? And I'm thinking in my head, for the Girardi cases, you guys, it wasn't mentioned, you know, in the documentary, but you were one of the first to break that there was even a divorce coming in the first place. So it made sense. I more so questioned why was Danielle Staub on it. But okay, moving on to the Jen Shah one.
Yeah.
When they mentioned that you did your due diligence and went in, checked out the LinkedIn profile, I'm like, this is why I say go watch Dana. She's not reading from reality blurb. She's like, no, hold on. I'm going to do my own investigation. And then you drop it. I love it.
Well, you know, of course, I've got a lot of stuff that I want to tell you that wasn't said on the show.
Ooh.
And I want to give you guys some insight. So one of the things that came up during the interview, I was interviewed for 4 hours to do that show. And I will get to comments, you guys, just so you know, I want to get this out first. So I was interviewed for like 4 hours. And one of the things that came up in the discussions with the producers were that they were like, you know, ABC may struggle to have you comment so much on like your journalism and your legal, right? Because you're not a lawyer. Okay. And all of these things. And they meant it in a really nice way. Okay. But what I realized is no matter at some point how much I validate like my research or what I'm putting forth, I'm always going to be like, not because of the Housewives thing. I'm in a way going to be like, yay, we love Dana because she's a housewife, or wasn't a housewife, a friend of, or whatever the hell it was, versus like I'm respectable or whatever, because they're not going to see me. They struggle to give me that credibility no matter what I do.
It's weird. It's almost like you have to work extra hard to get out of that shadow because you were a part of the show. So now people associate you with that. And now I feel like you work twice as hard as, you know, or more than a lot of us in order to prove, okay, wait a minute, I'm not just a pretty face with $25,000 sunglasses.
I don't know about pretty, but love you.
Oh, no. I'm not even kidding. You looked stunning on this.
I'm tired today. I went to Washington, D.C. with my son for like 4 days, and we did so much. And I flew home last night at midnight. And I came home and had all this stuff to share. I had all this stuff I found that was like amazing gossip, and I had to get it up. And I slept so little, and I think I feel like gross now.
No. We're happy just to be here.
I love you. Okay. So let me tell you why I brought that up. It wasn't like a pity party for Wilkie. Why I brought that up was while I was doing my interview, I had brought up a whole nother story that I had found out about Jen Shah that's going to give you a bunch of insight, and they didn't use it in the show. Because again, I think they were like, I was lucky to get the stuff that I got in there, you know, about her doing the Trump University, you know, that the Prosper Inc. background, because you know they did Trump University. They didn't bring that up, by the way, which I thought was funny that they didn't put that in the show. But basically, there was a guy named Carter Ream. Do you know who he is? Are you reading comments?
No, I'm thinking in my head, why does that sound like Paris Hilton's?
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me get the thing really quick.
Carter Riem, isn't that the name of
Hold
Paris
on, wait.
Hilton's?
I wrote down. Let me get the name of the guy. It's Carter something, and I'm doing Riem from memory. See, I told you I was tired today.
I was about to say,
You're
that's
like, who is
Hilton's
that? Here,
husband.
look at a comment while I do that.
You're like, look over here. Let me.
Here, look over at this comment while I check out the name of this thing.
I'm going to read this because I like this and I love Krista Marie. I don't know why people question Dana and why she talks about this stuff. You were one. You have so much insight, and I love you for it and your humility. Krista Marie, we love you too.
All right, let me give you another one. It could be bad because I'm not reading them. Okay.
Yes, but you are doing it, Dana Wilkey, DecaDish gossip, hashtag DecaDish Dana. Dana, this is your lane.
I love you. Okay, so what I was going to tell you was that I'm trying to get this gentleman's name. I'm going to find it while we're doing this. But basically, there's a whole history that Jen Shah had where she came up in these cultures that did this type of telemarketing scheme. And there's a part of me that thinks that maybe she, if I was to give her the benefit of the doubt, that maybe she didn't know what she was doing was wrong because so many companies she worked for were like boiler rooms. Do you know what I mean?
Right. No, definitely.
Like, if you're raised in that, like you don't know better. Trying to be nice, but that's what I found out. Because there was another guy, which I'm trying to get the name of him. I had it.
Well, while you're saying that too, I thought it was interesting because I had a couple people say in my live chat that they think maybe after watching this documentary that there could be a chance that Jen Shah might get off and might kind of be able to give her case like, listen, I got the leads. I sold them sold them to whoever, but I didn't know what they were going to do with them. And I was like, that's an interesting perspective.
Yeah, they gave that one on the show. They were very conscious at ABC, to be fair. They wanted it to be both sides. They really were like, we really need to tell the story from all sides possible so that it's fair. They didn't want people judging her before she has her trial, obviously, they were conscious about that. Okay, here it is. Sorry, guys. Excuse me. Dana she's tired today. So there was, so Heather McDonald did a podcast and it was called Live, Love, Lab. And on one of the earliest podcasts, they actually aired a little segment of it on the show. But in one of the early podcasts, she interviews Jen Shah. And what comes out in this interview, besides a little blurb you heard, was that Jen Shah actually worked for a gentleman early on in her career called Carlton Sheets. Okay? Not to be confused with, what did I say? Carter Riem.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, Carlton Sheets.
Today. All right. So Carlton Sheets, in case you guys didn't know, was a prominent real estate investor and author who was notable for television infomercials, which marketed real estate business learning materials. Sheets appeared on numerous radio and television talk shows. Now, this gentleman also had a bunch of Better Business Bureau complaints filed against him, and he made a lot of money by selling people on this idea of like no money down, buy real estate, make $1 million. And eventually his company got shut down. Now, she worked for him in her formative years as a young person. So she not only worked for Prosper Inc., which sold Trump University, but she also worked for this gentleman who also did this type of high pressure selling with inflated, you can get a lot more if, zero down and become a millionaire kind of thing. So I see a pattern. Now, we talked about that on the show, but they didn't air that part. But to me, it shows that there were so many companies that she worked for up till her own that were involved in boiler room, telemarketing, hardcore selling. What do they call it? When you're kind of, exaggerating results to consumers. As I mentioned, I'm sleepy today. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's an important thing they left out of the show to say that. What do you think of that?
Well, I have a question for you because it almost seems like the way that you're painting this.
I'm never doing a live on how poor I am now.
Oh my God.
It's okay, but I'm very poor.
Jay Dragon, I don't even know if that's appropriate.
I'm
Okay.
just kidding. That would be great though.
But no, I think my question here for you would be, I understand that you're saying it's almost like she was participating in other businesses that weren't her own, and she learned that this is the way that they do it. So it's almost like you're kind of giving her the benefit of the doubt, like, well, she maybe didn't know that this was wrong. But I do a lot of lives with Emily B. Baker. Love her on YouTube, guys. You
Yeah,
have to
she's
check her out.
great. Mm-hmm.
But Emily said that she went to court, I don't know if it was in 2012 or 2015, and they said to her, look, this is what you're doing wrong. This is bad business. You need to stop or else we're going to have a bigger problem. And then she said that Jen actually went back, figured out new ways of communication that were, I guess, encrypted or whatever, so it would go undetected, to continue doing these allegedly shady business practices. That way she could keep running her business. So makes
Emily
me question.
felt that after reading what the prosecutor put forth, she felt that Jen actually altered her business to conceal the transactions versus stopping when she heard it was wrong.
I think she felt like that's the way that she presented it. And of course, she always uses allegedly because we have to, right? But she was pretty much saying that, Jen was already warned about her bad business practices. And then they figured out, like you said, another way to conceal them. So it does make me wonder, will that completely dismantle any case for her by being like, no, I didn't know. Why am I in trouble? Because this is what I'm used to. I worked for all these different major companies and this is how we did business. But
well, that is an argument. That's a defense, actually. A defense is that the culture of a company or an industry standard you adhered to. So in other words, if she could go in front of a jury and have her defense attorney say, Jen Shah worked for 6 companies and all 6 companies, their methodology was hard selling, was, how would I say it? Inspirational, exaggeration of lifestyle, is it possible that she didn't know any better? Oh, I got a super sticker. Yay. Oh, you guys don't forget to subscribe and send super stickers. And since I'm poor, as mentioned earlier, tip in the tip jar. And by the way, ABC does not pay us to go on the show. Okay. So we're going to put that to bed because that always comes up everyone. They're like, did you get paid? I'm like, no.
I just wanted to know if you were sitting in the same room with Ronald Richards.
No. Oh my God. If I did, I'd be on his lap. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding.
All right. Kick-ass job. Thank you. Shah Shocked. I like that. It's Shah Shocker, but I'll go with Shah Shocked. Okay. Thanks for all the tea you continuously spill. You too, Adam. That's right.
Thank you.
That is
Thank you for the super sticker.
Yay. I'll be doing this on his channel in about 30 minutes. And then you guys could give super stickers to him too. So I wanted to share that there is this there's like several companies that Jen Shah witnessed people conducting business like this. And there's no doubt that when the FTC interviewed her, that's, I'm sure you heard that Smith said that he had lied to the feds. And that was actually her defense she was relying on. So because Stuart Smith said now that he lied to the feds, it really hurt Jen's case. You know that, right?
Right. But then I wanted to know, and this was another question that I had after I watched the documentary. We know that he lied in taking or changing his plea to guilty and saying, I admit these things. I'm acknowledging that what we were doing was wrong. Does that dismantle his case against Jen Shah because he's already admitting that he lied under oath? Like, does that, you know what I mean?
So yes, your answer to the question is yes. Hold on one second. The Harsh Reality Tea by yours truly, Krista Marie. I like it. Okay. Kiss face emoji. And I think R.R. Randall Emmett and Big Ed all resemble each other. Oh my goodness. You're not alone. I'd say Sammy says some horrible things, Princess Sammy. Oh, by the way, that was another thing I wanted to say. Jen Shah on the show, she did promote the Free Jen movement, but the original Free Jen movement actually came from Princess Samira.
Okay.
Princess Samira, who's on my show sometimes?
Yeah.
Princess Sammy? Yeah. So Princess Sammy actually was the originator of the Free Jen movement. But I don't think ABC knew that. So,
well, that's kind of like a big detail to leave out because they're like, Jen Shah started this, which looked like she was tone deaf, this whole hashtag Free Jen Shah movement. I'm like, I think she reposted a story.
Well, okay. So Sammy will tell you that she started the Free Jen movement and Jen loved it and felt the support. And so she reposted it. But ABC felt that Jen did it. I mean, I'm just saying, just because Sammy is on my show, she'll kick my ass if I don't set that record straight because she's so goddamn Free Jen Shah. I have interventions with her. I'm like, she may have robbed from like elderly people and you're so up her ass. And she like laughs and we fight about it, like this is, you have to take both sides. She's on Jen's side. I'm not. Oh, what's this one? What does that mean? Wait, hold on. Oh, I like that. Wait, hold on. Let me find it. Oh, oh, there it is. Thank you, Norman. Look at that cool Norman's eyeballs. Look really good.
Ramona eyes.
Yeah, I love it.
No.
So, but okay. So you were saying something about, what were you saying? Because you said a really good point and I lost it.
It was about the Stuart Smith, changing his plea. Does that dismantle his whole argument?
So he said that when the FTC asked him things about their involvement with these, I guess, entities, and this is, as I'm doing this from recollection, but it was that they had all these companies. I think there were like 47 of them. And in the companies, they were saying, well, we're like distant. We're not really involved with the day-to-day activities of these companies. And then I think what happened is Stuart basically changed that statement to say, because he couldn't be guilty of what he said he was guilty for if he wasn't involved with these companies. Do you understand?
Right.
So the way the prosecutor looks at it is she's like, listen, unfortunately, Stuart, we are offering you this deal, but if you are saying that this is true, then you can't take it because, and obviously the prosecutor thinks it isn't true or they wouldn't offer it.
Right. But no, it definitely makes sense. But in taking this deal, right, this is my big question. Since he took a deal, isn't the only person left to give information on Jen Shah? So by taking the deal, does he need to come off of everything that he knows, or at least whatever he wants to tell them about her that could help their case against her?
Yes. He has to tell her and he has to testify
against her.
But you're not allowed to lie. So although, he
already lied.
Well, Ronald Richards' point was that he would argue if he was defending Jen that Stuart can't be trusted because he's already lied to the feds. Okay. And then he changed his mind and unlied. So his character's in question now. That's what Ronald would say. The prosecutor would say, he's now coming clean, right? He's coming clean. He's been caught. We have too much evidence. The evidence was so strong, he had to tell the truth finally.
Right.
And the reality of the situation is that the truth that he is now telling is a truth that destroys Jen Shah's original defense that she already put in documentation to the prosecutor. So someone's lying, and that will be brought up to the jury.
So will he actually have to testify against her and look at her in the face?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, this is like, you guys, I'm like, the punishment that this woman and him, and Stuart are about to go through, no matter what happens, has already begun. And the victims can rest assured that it's a living hell, and they will absolutely get their restitution from the living hell that they are in. and will continue to be in for the foreseeable 10 years.
Do you think that, okay, so my question.
Our system does not mess around.
Well, I do have a question about this though. Will it just be Stuart, or will it be the other 11 or 12 people who have taken, a plea deal as well? And Jen will be sitting in a chair and they're like, okay, cue witness number 1, witness number 2. And then she has to sit there the whole time and watch number 1 through 12 come up and say, she said this, she did this, that's how it went.
Yes. And what I think they're going to do is I think they're going to remember to subscribe.
Don't forget to smash that like button.
Oh, and smash the like button. I think that what's going to happen is Jen is going to sit and she's going to have to watch everyone define the relationship and what her role was in it. And that is going to be really difficult because the prosecution is going to attempt to show that she wasn't unaware of the business practices these people were doing with the elderly.
Okay.
Because as they said on the documentary, which was so right, if you don't know about something, that's a defense. But to just to turn a blind eye or to just be stupid about it, but you know about it is not. It's like a fine line. So,
oh my God, this is a lot.
Sorry, I know.
No, it's a lot, but not in a bad. I'm trying to understand it because a lot of people compare and they want to because it's in the Housewives world, Jen Shah and Erica Girardi, but one's criminal, one's civil. So there's really not a comparison. And it's weird to just kind of digest this. I do have one more question for you though.
Yeah. Did you like that? Did you like that the Prosper Inc. thing got deleted?
Yeah, wait, that's what I was going to ask you.
Okay, good.
What made you think, let me go check out her LinkedIn? Hold on, I want to look more into this.
Okay, wait, let me go to the super sticker because they're very important. Lit Real Red, $4.90. Thank you. Yay, that's just like a sticker. I love it. So much fun. Okay, so what made me do it? So I was doing an episode and I started on Dishing Drama Dana on the Patreon, and I was doing it all about the ladies of Salt Lake City. And I started looking into each person, and I've covered all of them, by the way. I've covered all of the scandal around Lisa Barlow and Whitney Rose's husband. And there's a lot of scandal in this group. I could seriously do a Housewife and the Hustler on most of them. Okay, let's just say that. But, and again, after Erica, that it isn't always criminal, right? It can just be scandal, right? Because that's what the Erica one was. So I was in the process of doing that, and I was looking at her past jobs, and I'd heard some rumors about her when she was younger, that she had been involved with some boiler room type scenario things. So I went on her LinkedIn and I saw Prosper, and I was like, wait a minute, wasn't Prosper involved with Trump University? And then I started deep diving, and I realized that Trump University had been investigated in 2011, and they were eventually shut down. And then I read about the business practices of Trump University, and it sounded really sketchy. And then I looked at her role, and I'm like, wait a minute. So they were selling Trump University, which basically were these programs that were about real estate, similar to that guy I mentioned earlier. Let's bring it back, right? What's his name? Carlton Sheets. Right? Make $1 million, zero down real estate. So she goes to work for this company, Prosper. They're selling these Trump University real estate courses. You pay $1,500 for a one-day class, or you pay $30,000 for a week. And if you can't afford that class, don't you worry, Adam, because I'll help you take out a credit card, or I'll help you get a loan to be able to take out that course, to have that class. But then, of course, you take the class, you don't make any money, and you're like, oh my God, I just spent $30,000 on a bunch of BS. This was Prosper. Now, going back to Jen's LinkedIn, what astounded me about it was it said she was director of business development. Well, as our very intelligent crew here will know, a director of business development is a person whose job is to get all the leads and do bulk sales for the company. So to create relationships and alliances that allow a company to get huge brand exposure to sell. Right.
Okay.
So she
Jesus.
would have been involved at the highest level of the selling of Trump University, in a sense, by being director of business development, looking to do mass sales deals. That's what you do, right? So
Did
maybe, she might make a relationship with a school or, like that kind of thing to try to sell more quicker.
did anyone from that whole situation, because they got shut down, did anyone go to prison for that?
I don't know. I couldn't find if they went to prison. I did find that it was reported they were a boiler room, and there was proof on that. And that was reported, I think it was NBC News. And I did find proof that they were being investigated in 2011. Now, when she deleted it, I posted it on my Instagram, and she immediately deleted her LinkedIn. And I kept a screenshot of it, and I posted it on my Instagram. And I didn't know about this other gentleman, Carlton. That would have been amazing. Cause I've literally now have like her whole corporate career all the way up. And it all is related to this type of stuff. And so anyway, she deleted it, but then she DM'd me. Now they didn't show the DM. ABC had it, but they didn't show it.
Jen DM'd you?
Yeah, Jen DM'd me. This is a behind the scenes thing. I shared it. It said that she left in 2011, but then I responded back like, I don't understand why you're telling me that, because they were investigating it in 2011. So meaning when the shit hit the fan, it was 2011. like you were with them for something like, I think it was like 7 years before then. Or something. It was a long period of time. I could pull it up. It's on the Patreon if you guys want to go see it.
Was she more so wanting to know why you would even bring this up?
Huh?
Was she more so wanting to know, like, why would you even bring this up and put it out there?
I think she knew why. My job at that point was I was spilling gossip and tea, and it was like sort of my content. So she knew why I was doing it.
Okay.
And a few of the Salt Lake City housewives were like, "Are you psychic?" And I was like, "Maybe," or really good at research. I would have been a good analyst. I don't know. I'm not that great of like a TV person, but I'm a good analyst.
And you're also good on dishing drama. So
I'm good on dishing drama, Dana. In my world, people get to know my personality. It's very unique to me. So I'm not like typical. I was shocked they used me as much as they did. I was like, wow, thank you.
I wasn't, because the lineup was like, it was the Bravo super fan. And I'm like, I don't know why you're here. I understood why the aunt was there. And I saw you and I was like, no, I get why you're here. I more so didn't understand why they brought certain people on the Girardi one than I did this one. However, I didn't also get why they brought victims of other people's crimes on here to tell us what they went through if it's not related to Jen Shah.
Like, give me an example.
Like the 2 women who came on and they said, listen, they were scammed by this man. They showed the man and he's sitting there and it says 72 inches height with his mugshot. And they were like, these 2 women were scammed by him. But then we investigated him and then found out that he had a connection somehow across the country to Jen in some capacity. But these weren't her alleged victims. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I heard this complaint. So there was 2 complaints that I heard. One was that me being on it was sensationalizing the show. That was a complaint I heard related to me. And I looked up sensationalize because I didn't really understand what that meant. But I guess it meant that I'm entertaining but not accurate. That's the meaning. I found that really not true because today maybe because I'm tired and I did have a big night on Saturday. I'm not going to lie, in DC, but
did you have a decent night?
Especially before ABC, I studied like a mofo. Okay. And I'm sitting, we're fact checking, like they sit with like books and stuff. And I've memorized a bunch of information ahead of time. I know what they're asking. Like there is no inaccuracy. It is what it is,
Right.
I think the part about being entertaining, I hope I entertain. It is a damn TV show. I mean, what are we doing, right? We want to
I
watch
was
this.
entertaining.
You know what I'm saying? Like the whole point is to have it be somewhat entertaining. So I heard that complaint. I heard that people weren't clear on the victims, and I know where the challenge lied with that. This is not a typical, this is a complex crime that is very difficult to understand, and it's a white collar crime. And in this particular case, it's very easy. Jay Edelson did an excellent job as an attorney who needs to get something across quickly, which was in the Jay Edelson, Erica Jane thing. It was like, kind of like he said, orphans and widows, right? You guys got that right away. What's an
Right.
orphan and a widow, right? You get that victim like this. That's like a very talented attorneys know how to do that. With OJ, if you recall, they did if the glove doesn't fit, acquit, right? It's like catchy.
Right.
That's what all the jurors kept saying themselves. Well, if the glove doesn't fit, acquit. Like he broke it, all the complex data to that one thing, which isn't true. There was a lot more to think about, but the jury, these things work like taglines. So the thing with Jen Shah's situation is hers is messy. It involves numerous companies. It involves bank accounts. It involves complex wire fraud. It involves allegedly all of these things. And the people that got hurt in this thing, that the prosecutors probably don't want to have them go on a TV show, first of all. So I don't think the prosecution was like, hey, ABC, go ahead and put the people who've been victimized on the show, because
Right.
they're still in an active case. But, so ABC, I think, had to go hunt out victims that had, bought products from companies that allegedly Jen Shah is related to. And it was very difficult for them to tell the victim's story. Besides, hey, I'm elderly and I lost 30 grand, because it wasn't black and white. And they also didn't want to mislead anybody by not saying that some of these victims got their money back, right? Because
Right.
they went to their credit card and said, dispute, because they were trying to tell like a well-rounded story. So I think it was a big challenge for ABC's producers to be able to, tell the same compelling widows and orphans paid from a lawyer's client account story with this one.
Right.
Right?
That makes sense.
Kim Wilkinson. Oh, Kim, I like your glasses. Hi, Dana. Love your personality. I'm currently watching from Manchester, England.
Oh,
Love
hey.
you too, Adam. Oh, you guys, I emailed the producers of ABC today and asked them where you guys can catch this show in Europe, because I understand a bunch of people haven't been able to see it there because they don't get Hulu or something. And as soon as I have that information, I'll put it up on my Instagram for sure, so you guys can find it. Love you too, Adam. I am subscribed to both and Down with Jason. So DecaDish and Jason, and up, Down with Jason, and Up and Adam. It's a lot of names there.
That's a lot of that's a tongue twister.
All right, let me say, everybody say hi. Everybody, what about Coach Shah? Yes, this is the big mystery. And they stayed away from it on the show. They put in one sound bite about it, which is, how could Coach Shah have been married to her for 20 years and have no way of knowing how she made her money? That was a sound bite. And I don't know the answer to that question. ABC showed two sides. They said, well, in one way, Coach Shah, maybe she was lying to him or keeping things secret, because they seem to have that relationship on the show where she's hiding things. And then another person was like, the other attitude was like, how do you stay married that long and not know anything about, like, how are we affording this house?
Well, I kind of felt the same way too. And I wondered, I was like thinking in my head, before
He's in Florida.
Huh? Oh.
You're tan.
Yes. Thank you, Susie. I was wondering too with the Coach Shah stuff, because we know that they owned a home before the beautiful Shah Chalet rental, right? And that home was worth under $300,000. So I don't necessarily get how you're moving stuff around and how he wouldn't understand if she is found guilty. How did you not know this was happening? And why would you be renting a home for almost $10,000 a month or more, but you're not buying a home? You're just throwing all this money away unless you couldn't get approved for a mortgage, because that would be a red flag because they would look into your business. I don't know. It doesn't add up to me.
Yeah, well, it seems that they had no assets really, except for that one thing which you mentioned, which was that lower, not low, like, middle class house or whatever. And
Yeah.
and
I mean,
all of the mansions were rented.
these are the assets right here. It's right there. Look in her closet. There's diamonds, stone
Well,
galore.
they said, now Koa said everything that she has that's rich was rented or borrowed. Yeah, he said that. Yep.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah. Now, but he still paid a fortune she was paying people like, a few thousand a month to Koa to create dresses and stuff. So, I mean, it wasn't like, now she went on a casting tape and said she spends $50,000 a month on her lifestyle. So if that's true, then, I don't know what it's not on assets. It's on lifestyle, maybe parties or something. I don't know.
Which is funny because now in the future, like when they go to cast for, say they come up with like the Real Housewives of Dubai, because we have that coming.
Yes.
And the woman sits down and she's like, yeah, I spend about $50,000 to $100,000 a month. They're like, oh, this is going to be some fraud stuff. Yes. Hire her, bring her in. There's something fishy going on.
I know. I'm starting to think that way. Like Andy's going, okay, do we smell any like cults? Do we smell any people?
Now I feel like, yeah, the requirements are going to be so different for a housewife. Like someone sits down in the chair, they're like,
yeah, Coach Shah is a lawyer. He's a lawyer. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, go ahead.
No. But I feel like they're going to sit someone down and be like, are you married to your grandfather? No, you're not. Have you ever been No, you haven't. No, it's not. You're not a good housewife. You're not what we're looking for.
I was going to say to you, I did this awesome intro and they didn't use it. But I can tell you now what it was. So I first said I said to them, you guys are really I think the inspiration behind all the Housewives shows. I said this to the ABC producers. And I was like, I don't know if you want to say this on the show, but you did Desperate Housewives. And Desperate Housewives was actually, I think it was like the 4th most watched show on television. It was like so amazing. And that was the same year, shortly after that Bravo came out with invested in the Real Housewives of Orange County reality show.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so it was, okay, that makes sense.
So it looks like that Andy was a fan or was really well aware that Desperate Housewives on ABC was doing super well, the fictional show, because it was like ridiculous, like Super Bowl numbers. And I think he said, hey, maybe we should take a look at this reality show in Orange County and do like a real one. So I do think ABC in this way is somewhat linked to, in the life cycle of the housewives to the beginning. And Brian Moylan also agreed with that in his book, by the way. He's also on the show.
Well, I also feel like when we all start something, no matter what it is, a lot of times we get not information, but inspiration from different places. So if that was the inspiration, it would make sense. There's something that sparks that light bulb in our head that says, wow, this could be a great idea, because there's something that triggers that.
Yes, it was Desperate Housewives. That's right. Go ahead.
No, that's it.
Okay. All right. Let me tell you something. Let me see if I have anything fun that I could share that they didn't put in. I'm trying to make this like fun and interesting. We're going to continue also on Adam's channel in about 4 minutes because we're all trying to make money off Shah Shocker and Dana Wilkey and Adam.
Guys, can I just say really quick, this is not just for YouTube. I spent, I don't know how many hours in the pool with Dana. This is real life. This just carries over into real life. This is how it goes. This is like a filtered version.
Yeah. I'm very transparent.
With
Okay.
avocado and unicorn floaties.
Oh my God, that was so fun. Do you remember our unicorn floaty love? Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. All right, let me see if I can find this beautiful thing, like one thing to leave you guys on that they didn't touch. I love to keep these and talk about them. They were going to talk about the lack of trust Jen has on the show. That all the women seem to have this strange lack of trust for Jen. And isn't that strange that she would end up being indicted? Do you think that's strange? Let's pretend you're on the ABC Shah Shocker. Go ahead, Adam. Do you think that the lack of trust of Jen on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is a theme that lent itself to what happened in the indictment that we later saw?
No, I think that, listen, if it sounds too good to be true, that, you start to think, right? And there were things about her business practices if you ask me what I do for a living, I can very easily lay it out for you to where it's pretty transparent. You know what I do. And when you have someone like Jen Shah, who's trying to tell you what she does, but she's dancing around it and choosing her words very carefully and referring to herself as the Wizard of Oz, you know what I mean? I think that, yes, that's immediately going to give you red flags. And then you hear her and you start seeing this opulent lifestyle and then more red flags, because the way that she's portraying herself, even when she is sitting next to Coach Shah and she's like, I spend $50,000 a month. Most people, even wealthy people, one, they don't talk about it, or two, you just don't see a whole lot of it. You wouldn't see somebody like that wanting to go on the Housewives unless you're like Heather Dubrow.
Yeah. Well, and I've heard she's going to have a tough season on Orange County.
Oh, I'm ready for it.
If you haven't listened to this last Sunday's episode of Dishing Drama Dana, Adam's on my Patreon, you guys, just so you know. He's a diamond.
In the rough.
You got to listen to it, though. I get all into this stuff going on with Terry, which is what the rumor is. Okay, we're going to go in one more second. That's it, I promise. Let's see. Where is it? See the papers? This is what I study, you guys. This is my ABC study sheet, just so you know how hard I work. And out of this, I get like 5 minutes on the show, but I memorize it all.
Listen, they did better than what Dave Quinn gave you.
Oh my God, Dave Quinn. I know. How did he delete me from the book? You guys know I got deleted from the book, right?
That damn book.
I want to say I made up with Heather McDonald for all of you guys. I was so happy today that happened. It was very exciting. We had a fight and we made up today. So I'm like, that was like such a Christmas present.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I don't like to fight with people. All right. I'll save some of this for you now. All right, you guys. So listen, we're going to jump off here now and we're going to go on Adam's channel to support him. Oh, a super sticker. Before we go.
KB Chum.
I should just, every time I get a super sticker, I'll do this.
God.
People should pay for that.
You're going to give yourself whiplash. Every like 10 seconds, you're going to be like,
oh my gosh. Listen, I want you to know that after I saw myself on that show, I was like, I have got to get that jaw surgery that all these chicks, all these women have gotten this like this. That's what they look like.
No,
so
you
great
don't.
From the side.
It's that facelift that Sonia Morgan got for $70,000 that makes it go.
It goes like this. I could be like this.
And she's like, yes.
Oh, Adam, I love you so much. Okay. All right, you guys, subscribe, like this video, and I'm going to do another live tomorrow because, I'd like to tell you more stuff. I'll be more organized because I've been on vacation, still recovering a little bit from a hangover. Adam, also, by the way, is so entertaining and has so many fans. I don't have to work that hard.
No.
So I kind of crutch on him a little bit. Okay, so we're going to head over to Adam's station. So Up and Adam, subscribe, like this video so we can continue to do them and show your support to Adam. He's my bestie.
Bye. See you in a second. By the way, Dana, I emailed you back with the link, so I'll see you in a second.
Oh, good. Thanks, because I would have forgot that.